Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this evening, so let's begin. First up, no new COVID 19 deaths announced Monday. Health officials urge Granite Staters to continue social distancing as number of cases increase. As dozen more people test positive in New Hampshire for the coronavirus, state health officials said there were no new deaths to announce today for Monday. Dr. Benjamin Chan, the state epidemiologist, said there were 72 new cases of COVID 19 confirmed, bringing the total number of cases in the state during the pandemic to 2,588. Four more patients have been hospitalized, bringing the total number of hospitalizations to 286. Chan said about 11% of the confirmed cases have required hospitalizations. 86 New Hampshire residents have died of COVID 19, Chan said. No new deaths were reported Monday, but he warned that the coronavirus will still be around for many more weeks or months. Chan said there is still a lot about the virus that's unknown. Once a person is affected, how long are they protected or immune from reinfection? When will a rebirth vaccine be widely available? Because of uncertainty, Chan said it's essential that people stay home as much as possible, continue to practice social distancing, and use proper hand hygiene. He said the state is strongly encouraging people to wear cloth face masks or face coverings when out in public. The tone of caution comes as the state begins allowing some businesses to reopen with restrictions. Retailers, hair salons, and golf courses can reopen next week if they can take various precautions, including face masks for employees and maintaining social distancing. Governor Chris Sununu said about 2,100 businesses have made requests for personal protective equipment, including masks, and the state will be able to fulfill those requests. Businesses can apply for masks at nheconomy.com/COVID-19 and pick them up free of charge at various Division of Motor Vehicles locations in New Hampshire. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. Let's take a look at that right now. And here's that COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. There are 2,518 number of people who have been tested positive for COVID-19. 1,187,035 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 86 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 282 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 68,500 59 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows you where cases of COVID-19 are in towns and cities of New Hampshire. Manchester, 529 cases of COVID-19. In this chart here, new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red are the deaths. In this chart here, current cases. In the purple, current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalizations. In this chart here, cumulative totals. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations. In the red, deaths. And in the blue, recovered. This chart here shows you age group. This chart here shows you female and male. And this chart here shows you risk information. And then this chart here shows you race/ethnicity of cases. This chart here shows you percent of New Hampshire population. And your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing. How it spreads and prevention tips. PPE made available for all businesses opening under new order. First responders to get extra weekly stipends, governor says. As some New Hampshire businesses prepare to reopen amid the COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Chris Sununu said Monday they will have access to free personal protective equipment provided by the state. Sununu said about 2,100 businesses have made requests for protective equipment, and the state will be able to fulfill those requests from shipments of equipment it has been able to secure. Business owners can apply for masks at nheconomy.com/COVID-19 and pick them up free of charge at various Division of Motor Vehicle locations. Several businesses, including retailers, hair salons, and golf courses, can open next week if they can take various precautions, including requiring face masks for employees and maintaining social distancing. Sununu also announced more aid to first responders in New Hampshire cities and towns. Full-time firefighters, police officers, and emergency medical services workers will receive an extra $300 per week, while part-time workers will receive $150 per week. The state has also allocated $400 million for cities, towns, and counties to cover costs related to COVID-19. The funds can be used for purposes such as paying for child care, for first responders, for cleaning or modifying buildings, or for costs associated with working from home. And now let's take a look at your coronavirus in Massachusetts for Monday, May 4th. And here are the new numbers for Massachusetts from Monday, May 4th. New cases, 1,000 new cases in Massachusetts. This graph right here, 2-week COVID-19 case trend. In the blue here, daily new cases, and in the red, yellow here, 7-day average. Cases in intensive care, 908. Total deaths, 4,090. And long-term care deaths, 2,428. That is a look at the information for Massachusetts. Maine CDC announces 20 new coronavirus cases, no new deaths. Let's take a listen to that video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Running a campaign takes a lot of work, a lot of volunteers. We're working hard. I'm tired, but it's worth the effort.
There are now 1,205 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Maine and 57 deaths. That's 20 more cases from yesterday and no new deaths to report. Not reflected in today's case count, however, are 5 new confirmed cases at the Tyson Foods plant in Portland. The Maine CDC says that makes 17 cases in total associated with that plant. Dr. Nirav Shah also mentioning the topic of antibody testing, warning that patients should ask a number of questions of their doctors if they are discussing the tests at all.
Right now, there are a lot of different tests that are on the market for antibody testing. Some of them are very good, others of them are lacking. In fact, some of the ones that are out there right now in the United States haven't even received an authorization from the Food and Drug Administration.
Also today, Dr. Shah confirmed that FEMA will be sending all of Maine's 93 long-term care facilities a 14-day supply of masks, surgical gowns, and gloves.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Monday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Monday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the green and went up. Oil closed in the green and went up. US 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the red and went down. And VIX closed in the red and went down. The S&P 500 ekes out a small gain to start the week, supported by strength from big tech. Stocks rose slightly as an advance in the biggest U.S. technology shares lifted the market into the green from losses earlier in the session. Murder hornets, that's right, murder hornets, arrive in U.S. and scientists warn the killer insect could dominate the bee population. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Amy, dozens of people per year in Japan, people who have been stung by a murder hornet, say it feels like hot metal driving into the skin. The hits keep coming here in 2020. The murder hornet has been spotted in the U.S. Now, as the pandemic keeps people indoors, another potential reason not to go outside in 2020, the so-called murder hornet.
The biggest ones will get just to about 2 inches.
Known as the Asian giant hornet, it can be up to 5 times larger than a honeybee. Its stinger strong enough to pierce through a beekeeping suit. Its venom can be deadly. These hornets kill dozens of people in Japan every year. And now they've been sighted in the U.S. These images taken in December in Washington state. As summer approaches, scientists are racing against the clock to track them down. Ted McFall is a beekeeper near where those first sightings happened. He says the, quote, beasts decimated his entire honeybee colony.
Never have I seen a bee slaughter in the way that this hive had been slaughtered.
And these hornets have a vicious sting. Just ask animal expert and YouTube personality Coyote Peterson, who voluntarily got stung by one in 2018 for his show Brave Wilderness.
If you can imagine getting yourself into a scenario where somehow Mike Tyson was able to take an open shot right at your jaw, that is kind of what it feels like.
Experts say if you encounter one of these large hornets, get as far away from it as you can. Experts also say that most people have nothing to worry about. The murder hornets have been spotted in extreme northwest Washington state and in British Columbia, but there is no evidence that they are anywhere else in North America.
Okay, and there you go on that video. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.